Hello and welcome to Movie Phone. Oh wait, wrong show. Hello and welcome to the Raw Deal. My name is Boxer. I'm joined again by my most glorious guest, Dictator. Dictator, how you doing?
Oh, well, today I got something thrown in my ass again.
You know they got creams for that.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of itch that you just have to vent about.
All right, let's. I'm now. I know the topic, so I'm pretty sure we got a long show. So go ahead. Let's get started. What's got your ass in the bunch?
Alright, so it goes like this. So everyone's aware that of the shooting that happened in Orlando not too long ago, rest in peace for the victims, and speedy recovery for the those that ended up in the hospital. And so, just after that happened was the free event, and around that time, it was already well known that Battlefield 1 was going to be showcased, the new Call of Duty was going to be showcased, and whichever other violent shooters might be out, like Titanfall 2. So the SJW faction of the games media decided to inherit the legacy of Jack Thompson and started blaming video games for what happened. I don't remember like specific quotes. They had people like who's this guy? Jonathan McIntosh, who outright said that basically called them he didn't quite say murder simulators, but he said something to that extent. Another person said that they wouldn't. They basically accused these games of fetishizing gun culture, and of course there's Brianna Wu playing the eternal victim of how somehow something that has absolutely nothing to do with her victimizes her. But the other thing I wanted to get into was a couple of things. So first off, guns have been in video games for a very long time. If anybody remembers when the Columbine incident happened, Jack Thompson, who was disbarred because of his multiple bogus claims of this, was there on the scene, and I don't remember if it was on that scene, but anyway, the media was on the scene blaming Doom for it.
Doom.
Yeah. And the other thing is this. Anybody who's actually shot a gun in real life will quickly realize that shooting a gun in a video game and shooting one in real life are completely two wholly different experiences. Just because you're at the top of the scoreboard on Call of Duty doesn't mean you can operate a firearm in any reasonably efficient manner. So, I mean, where to start with this? Yeah, as I say, going back, guns have been around for. They've been in video games for as long as I can personally remember. I mean, even before doing Wolfenstein 3D, I had the German Luger, the MP40, a Gatling gun, and what else was it? Was it just those three, or was it something else?
I believe those are it.
Yeah, so we have those, and when you take into consideration how far back guns and video games go, compared to the estimated 300 million or so gun owners in the U.S., and you throw in the search factor of video games being not the biggest form of media or something like that.
It is definitely
it's
the
movies, right?
Yeah. It's bigger than video games as an industry. Earns more money than the movies and the TV and the audio combined, like music.
Yeah. So when you
Huge.
put all those together, if what they said had any merit to it, you see a lot more shit happening.
Well, the other thing is that the use, play, and sales of violent video games have gone up through the years, yet overall national crime has gone, violent crime has gone down.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't want to get too much into the politics with it. I just want to stick more to the gaming-related aspect. But yeah, if on the side note, if you take a look at FBI statistics, ever since around '93, there's been just an overall downward trend in violent crime in general. And you know what's funny is the people that are blaming video games for violence around '93 is when things started picking up. Doom was hitting the market. I believe Super Nintendo and Genesis were out, so the 16-bit wars were already in full swing. And it's only gotten bigger as the industry got bigger. The rates of violent crime went down. So it's like, okay, hey, what gives here? This is pure bullshit. And that's the kind of the other. On one hand, it's kind of a tangent, but on the other hand, it's also sort of related to this, in that the games media has kind of become this weird thing where it's turned against its own consumer, turned against like its own industry. It's become something like of a cannibal. If we take the whole gaming industry and all its peripherals as a whole, it's become a cancer. That's just eating up itself. But looking at all that, and here's the other thing too. The thing that makes me laugh about this whole thing is when some of these very far left games journalists, they mention something about gun culture, this and that. It's like, wait, what do you know about gun owners in this country? I mean, there's actually a term in the community. It's referred to as, the term is tactical, and it's generally used as a derogatory or a pejorative term for a rifle that has a whole bunch of crap bolted on it. And the origins of this, I guess you can call it a meme at this point, the origins of this come from Call of Duty. Whenever some I've actually seen instances where I've been at a gun shop, and some kid comes in there and asks. Basically, he says he wants to buy the gun he uses in Call of Duty.
Wow.
Whenever you see that, you see a collective eye roll at that. That's the initial reaction.
I can't believe someone would say such. I can't believe someone would ask that. I want the gun that I see online.
It's like, oh, this is like for Call of Duty, and you get the biggest eye roll ever. Like, oh boy, they don't keep the kid out. They don't keep the guy out. I mean, they're more than willing to help him and educate him. So you get that kind of eye roll. It's like, oh, this is going to be a long day.
Wow.
And to kind of reference back to our last episode, you get the eye roll where it's like you get the new build at the last minute, and they want you to test it still. Like, okay, I'm not going home for a while.
I don't know. I mean, I blame parents, but that's just me.
Yeah. And the other thing is, here's the funny part. Back when Jack Thompson was doing his thing in, what was it, around, I'm gonna say 2003.
Ish.
Yeah, when he was doing his thing back in 2003, I'm blaming violence in video games and calling GTA a murder simulator because it teaches people how to use guns, which it really doesn't. Yeah, I'll go into that next realism. When he was doing his thing, the entire games media industry, Taku and all your usual suspects, they were all lockstep against this guy. Just basically saying, like, this guy's full of crap, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's a moron, nah, 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 nah. Well, we fast forward to 2016, almost 13 years later, and they're inheriting his legacy. It's like, I don't want to gain the fetishist gun culture. I don't want to gain the glorified violence. But just, like, what? What the hell happened, games media? Like, now you're turning it all against us now. It's like, well, were you just a Trojan horse for here's the really weird thing. I was about to say, were you just a Trojan horse for right-wing concern trolls?
Wow.
But the funny thing is, the left has gone so far to the left that they are now the right.
Oh, you've gone so far. That's funny.
Yeah, it's gone from, Jesus. It's gone from the Helen Lovejoy, would someone please think of the children, far right nut to the, it's kind of like a new strain of social viral infection, but to like this, everything is offensive and everything is oppressive kind of, mentality.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier, I kind of wish this was a little bit more structured, but, I kind of just woke up, I'm still drinking my coffee. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning playing Doom. The funny thing is, when you talk about gun culture, this they knew anything about it, is it's the level of realism in gunplay in video games. It's like almost, unless you're playing a game, its specific gimmick is realism, like the Sniper Elite series, where the whole core of the gameplay is the realistic, real world mechanics. Like, you have to factor in some bullet drops, you have to factor in some windage, and also your heart rate, breathing. Other than games specifically made for that, there was barely any realism in any kind of gunplay in most of these games, and that's because you play Call of Duty, you think you're a hotshot sniper. You take my scope and most of my gun out to the range, and I tell you to hit something at 300 yards or so, and it's a windy day, you will miss every time. Because to make those long-range shots, you literally have to be an amateur physicist. Like, my bullet is this heavy, I need to compensate for this. Or, okay, this bullet is more powerful than this one, so this one has more of an arc to its trajectory, so I need to compensate this. There's a lot of mechanics that go around it. But when you play a game, you put crosshairs on target, and you'll hit every time. When in real life, the crosshair on the scope, it's only there as a reference point. All that crosshair tells you is, at this distance, the bullet will pass through this point. Like this, and I'm not even gonna get into recoil on some of these games where it's just like non-existent.
Wow. They're arcade shooters, man. They're meant to be arcadey, non-realistic.
That's right. I mean, I'm not putting them down or anything. I mean, hell, they're fun. I'm not putting them down at all. But all I'm saying is, there is the level of realism in there is nowhere near anything that could be considered a simulation. I mean, they might have some kind of point if they were, talking about Sniper Elite and talking about the DC Sniper back in, what was that, 2004? No, 2003, yeah. If they were talking about him, they might have some kind of point there. But they're not. And I don't think that franchise even started yet. But, yeah, I mean, it actually did their due diligence as journalists and, gone to a range, rented out a rifle with some supervision. They were like, oh, this is nothing like the video games. Oh, I can't hit anything in real life. Then they realize what kind of crap they're shoving. I mean, they're no longer journalists. They're propagandists now. They're clickbait propagandists. And in a way, it's kind of sad to see things go that way. And going back to a little bit more on the realism side of it, the other thing that the best way I would describe some of the customization features, like on Call of Duty or whatnot, is it's more keen to pimp my ride than anything really, really realistic. And I kind of blame Hollywood for that. Because, I mean, here's the other thing. When you tack on all that crap on a rifle, it makes it heavier. And when you try to imagine the typical rifle stance. You have your arms out, you have your left arm further out, supporting the rifle about maybe halfway through. Now, you have your arm out with the physics of it. The more weight that's at the end of your arm, it's going to put more strain on your arm rather than if you have the weight closer to your core. I mean, You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like holding your arm out and trying to hold the bucket and keep your arm straight. So in real life, that your trick on Call of Duty operator gun is very likely going to be a bitch to handle in real life. You wouldn't want to use that. What else is this? I mean, yeah, that's the kind of thing that sort of makes my head hurt every time I see these people open their mouths. It's not rooted in any kind of. It's not rooted in any kind of reality. I mean, statistics say otherwise. FBI statistics say otherwise. I guess the real world applications to it just kind of say otherwise. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you're just not going to learn how to shoot from playing video games. You want to learn how to shoot, you go out there and you practice, and you get somebody who knows what they're doing to lay out the basics for you. And the other thing is, okay, I talk about crime simulators like Grand Theft Auto. How often is a video game scenario that you're there to conduct a mass shooting? That's from like GTA and Modern Warfare 2, which is actually integral to the story.
Are you talking about the airport level, Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not very much.
That's the other thing. It's like, and when you do it in Grand Theft Auto, it doesn't take long for the cops to show up and mow you down. And I mean, when the cops show up, they just freaking kill you.
Right.
But yeah, it's annoying and just both the sheer ignorance and the fact that it's basically become this betrayal of the video game consumer. And they don't know what they're talking about. They further perpetuate lies. These lies go on to are further perpetuated either through just ignorance or whatnot, but then you get more people saying like, oh, we need to do something about this or that. We can't have games like this and that. It creates a witch hunt. I mean, at this point, yeah, a lot of people aren't having it, but on the same token, it's the whiners in this. They've gotten speaking engagements at the UN. Like, one of the people complaining about this whole thing, like Zoe Quinn, like, yeah, she was one of the people that went crying to the UN that they need to censor the internet because her feelings got hurt.
Ugh. Sorry.
So, I mean, as far as the I really think it does a disservice to everybody when you link these kind of violent criminal incidents to video games. I mean, yeah, there's guns in there, yeah, there's violence in there, but it's escapism. You play these games because you do stuff you can't do in real life or not.
But you know you can't do this stuff in real life.
Right. And, going back to this crazy ass maybe not jihadist who shot the place off. Like, the investigation hasn't even ended yet. So how can you say that the video games are the cause of this? Do we know? Does the guy even own Xbox or PlayStation or a gaming PC? Do we know what this guy's hobbies were? All we know is that he was a freaking psycho.
Oh, excuse me, sorry.
I mean, how long is that until we get somebody saying that video games are responsible for the Holocaust? Yeah, sure, it's crazy to say now, but back in 2003, it was crazy to say that people in the games media would have sided with Jack Thompson.
Well, the games media is the people who now run it have changed. Before they were more middle of the run people. Now they're way more left. It just came that way. No one wants to learn how to be a writer anymore, except for the artistic people. So, not to say artistic people are bad. I'm just saying.
Well, my problem with them is they've confused journalism with being a glorified blogger.
Ah, yes. I don't know if we want to jump into this episode or not. But.
No, I'm just gonna touch on it a little bit. So I was gonna go back into game content, but yeah, just to touch on it a little bit, they've confused actual journalism with just being a glorified blogger. I mean, when you write a blog, you literally write whatever you want. There's no code of conduct. There's no kind of due diligence on it. You can go full Alex Jones on there.
Well, it's an op-ed piece by nature.
Right. I mean, is there anything wrong with that? No.
But that's not. Yeah.
When you're writing under
the guise.
Yeah, the guise or the cloak of journalism, there's an expectation there that you're going to be objective, you're going to be factual, you're going to have done your research, your due diligence, and I don't know if it's that they take advantage of that expectation to push their agenda, or if they just don't know any better. But the other thing I wanted to touch on, how this whole thing could affect the industry, is they're again calling for more censorship. And what the censorship always run contrary to? First Amendment. When not Jack Thompson, but Leland Yu, who is now serving time in federal prison for being being a real world GTA character, an illegal gun runner, he tried to get the sale of M-rated games banned to minors. And the court said, no, it's a violation of the First Amendment. We're not going to do that. So now we have this wave of cry bullies. What happens if they end up getting their way? They con enough people into thinking they're right, and they start bullying companies into self-censorship. Kind of like how what's that company? Is it Tecmo? Koei Tecmo wouldn't release the latest Dead or Alive volleyball here because they don't want to deal with all the SJWs.
No.
Yeah, first it's just because of a bunch of girls running around with beach in bikinis, which is kind of like where else would you expect girls to be wearing bikinis at? Your beach or a pool. Not like they're running around middle of winter at a ski resort in bikinis. But yeah, first is that. Now you have people blaming gun culture, blaming guns and video games for cycles that shoot places. What if they start getting their way and companies are less inclined to make these shooter games because of it? What does that do to the industry? I mean, I don't think it's going to go in that way, but I mean, just something, just food for thought. It's in creativity and whatnot.
Well,
and I mean, don't tell me that things like aiming down the sight features and whatnot don't tell me that features centered around gunplay and video games didn't become a thing. Because aiming down at sights, that's become a standard in general. Add-ons has become standard practice. And so what if because of all these crybabies that we didn't get those as often, or we had those watered down? Or we'd be taking a step back.
Well, you know what always happens, right? Someone's gonna go the exact opposite and try to release it, and say that, oh, it's free for everyone to play, and just, re-expose society. They're not, at least they're not making it illegal. It's gonna be some anonymous guy, and it's just gonna be released. It's gonna be shareware doom all over again.
Man, I miss shareware.
But I'm not. That's why I'm not too worried, because ultimately, money has all the power. So even though,
right,
there's money, and then there's people who are gonna hack their way around it. That always happens. They'll find a new way to import it. They'll find the Japanese version, whatever. It's just annoying. These other people who are just wah, me, this. I'm offended in place of these people who don't have a voice and all that crap.
Oh God, those people are the worst.
It's like, you really, are you really seriously considering that, these are murder machines? Like they're just there, and there's no way that someone could sit down and enjoy something in an enclosed space for a particular enclosed time and not think that that's their real life. You really think that
Yeah,
that
I think what it is with these people is that they're just so fearful of the world and that they expect the worst out of people. They rather than thinking for the most part the general population is either A, decent people or B, doesn't want to go to jail. They just assume everybody's Jack the Ripper. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's upbringing, but yeah. So on another note, rather than being just angry and angry and complain about it, when it's done in the right way, when when, when guns are used are placed in the video games in the right way, they can actually be you can actually add like an educational slant to it. Like for example, in the Metal Gear series, all the way from Metal Gear Solid up to five, there was always a guy that you can call who would give you a breakdown of the mechanics and even a little bit of the history behind whatever weapon you're using. So, like for example, the AK-47. Everybody knows what the AK is. Everybody has seen one in one movie, TV show, or whatever. It's pretty ubiquitous.
ubiquitous.
But how many people? Yeah, how many people actually know anything about this rifle other than what it looks like? Well, you can in three, once you pick it up, you can hear this guy call, and he tells you about the guy who designed it, what it does, like the different functions, its caliber, all the different little mechanical aspects of it. And you can also add a little bit of little thing towards history where your old World War II shooters. You can look at the modeling, kind of see how it works, and get an idea of how it works by using it in the game. But if I was doing a history class, one of the things I would do to get into the World War II segment is I'd bring in the PSP and have them have somebody play through a few levels of World at War. I'd have them play through the Stalingrad level.
Well, I don't know. On the comment of that, I'm really looking forward to the new Battlefield, World War One. By the way.
Oh, that's gonna be freaking nice. But I mean, yeah, I did rip on the guy coming into the gun shop and talking about Call of Duty and wanted to put together set up an AR like the one he has. And the clerk having explained that fully automatic is illegal and where he's at. But it does. Ooh, it does bring people into the quote unquote gun culture. But I guess being a part of that, I see what it is rather than what it gets vilified as. And you'll find people of all stripes owning guns. And for the most part, every one of them is a freaking stickler for safety. People don't tolerate you screwing around and potentially getting people killed. And as a hobby, you ask me, it teaches you responsibility because you're handling it's a weapon. There's no question about that. And with that comes responsibility. If you're going to operate this thing safely, you have to really be on top of that. So in that regard, I appreciate that aspect, and that it brings people into something that I think is a positive. And on another, I don't know, is there I think that's really all the kind of points I want to make in a semi-structured plan.
Well, I will say that I do believe that violent video games um, do provide a unique point of view, I guess. You know, it is simulating something, violence, but it doesn't encourage. Like when you play,
Right.
Call of Duty, and you're in, it's warfare, and you're walking around in civilian life. How does that translate? It doesn't,
Right.
right? It may make you a better tactician. It may make you, maybe it may be better for your eye-hand coordination, but none of it suggests, oh, go shoot up a school,
Well,
or
not only that, going back to put together what I said earlier and what you just mentioned. Sure, it might make you a better tactician. Sure, it might improve hand-eye coordination. But unless you've actually had hands-on instruction on even something as basic as the 8K, you're still not gonna be able to figure it out.
well, okay,
I mean, when I first bought the thing, and we took it down, I was kind of fumbling around with a magazine a little bit, and the guy told me, okay, you have to kind of rock it in. It's like, oh, okay, so that's how it sits. Oh, well, make sure it clicks. You feel that click, otherwise you're going to fall out. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. If you just go pick up a firearm and you have zero firearm experiences, you might as well be back in driver's ed. Day one again, never having been behind the wheel.
well, I mean, there are some kids who have been taken to the range by their parents and all that stuff, and they know how to use a gun. And even if they did and play these games don't encourage mass shootings. These games don't
Right.
encourage, shooting up a nightclub. None of these games really encourage that. So even if you know how to use a gun, these games don't contribute to, oh, I'm going to go kill a bunch of people in, a movie theater. It doesn't translate.
Right, and you know what? And not only do they not encourage it, but in some form or other they punish it. Because you're like, let's go back to GTA. You go around, you shoot up a commercial district. What happens? The cops show up and they mow you down. Like you have no chance if SWAT comes out. And when you're dead, what happens? You don't see segments of you being glorified on the media. All it says is busted, or no, also the wasted. And this is all that happened to you. You're just a wasted screen now. And then you spawn back at the hospital and you got none of your stuff. Like it actively discourages. It lets you do it, but in some form or another, the game discourages you from doing it.
Yeah.
And in Saints Row, it can get even worse, where the not just there's no build up of escalation. Like first it's a patrol car, then it's more just a couple cops and then it's SWAT. Now sometimes it'll just be SWAT that just shows up. Like there's no, and even in Call of Duty, if you're going back there, like if you're trying to shoot your own guys, the game will kick you back. You'll get the equivalent of the game over screen. It'll kick you back to the previous checkpoint. It'll say something along the lines of friendly fire will not be tolerated.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Well.
So it's. I mean, the realism isn't there. The encouragement to commit senseless acts of violence really isn't there. I mean, sure, in going back to Grand Theft Auto, sure, you kill people and take their money, but odds are you're actually going to lose money by the time you respawn at the hospital.
Well, it's also
in the sense you don't even have a financial incentive.
And there's no game incentive either. It's not like there's a mission that goes, all right, go kill 5 hookers.
Right. I mean, sure, you'll get those rampage missions, but holy crap, those can be pretty hard.
Yeah. I was trying to leave that one out.
Well, I'll just touch on the one rampage mission that had you killing in GTA 5. It had you killing 20 hipsters in X amount of time. All said hipsters all come at you with shotguns.
Okay, so it's self-defense. Oh, God. Freaking sinuses.
But, I mean, yeah, the other thing is, did he even bother? Like, none of these journalists, if you notice, none of them bother to interview people that play these games. They just come out there with their own arguably agenda-driven agendas, or agenda-driven articles or writing pieces. Like, you never see them in interviews. I'm like, you know what? Why do you play these games? You ask me, I play them because A, I can do stuff in it that I can't do in real life. B, just to kind of run amok in them. And C, they're just fun. I mean, if you play Street Fighter a lot, does that mean you go around walking the streets getting into fights?
Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. Sorry.
Right. I mean, maybe they'd be onto something if I woke up one day and saw a news article that some guy got a fireball thrown at him out on the street.
Wow, you went there.
Yeah, I did. So, you know, if I read that, maybe I'd lend some credence to video games influencing people to behave in a specific manner. And notice I said specific manner. Because, I mean, yeah, in some instances, not that they influence people's behavior, but rather kind of the thought pattern that could develop out of it. Like, if you play a lot of strategy games, if you weren't already, you're going to start thinking more analytically about things. But is it going to make you go out there and try to be Caesar? Probably not. Maybe Caesar of your immediate, office department. Well, on that note, again, maybe they'd be onto something if I read in the news that the department manager who just assumed his post got stabbed about 43 times by middle management. But I mean, yeah, the way the games media covers, the way the media in general covers guns and video games is pure crap. There's nothing in there is rooted in any kind of logic or reasoning. I mean, these articles are all completely biased and one-sided with so-called, with just quotes from so-called experts. Hey, they're literally, you ask me, they're literally propaganda pieces. They're literally propaganda pieces, and the thing that really grinds my ass is they absolve the violent actor from any and all responsibility.
You're right. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, because we had going back to Columbine, we literally had people say, oh, they did this because of Doom. And it's like, okay, first of all, the original Doom, there's nothing realistic about that game. Nothing. So you can't even look up and down in that game without a mod. Secondly, it's taking the onus away from the actor and putting it on the game. So what, are we going to profit keep the game then? Is that what we're going to do? Because you're literally saying that they weren't responsible for their own actions.
The company made me do it.
Right. So, I mean, it's, in a sense, maybe I'm going into Alex Jones territory here, but in a sense, the way the media covers this, it further adds to the already lack of personal responsibility in what we're seeing today. And with video games, the video games industry, as big as an industry it is right now, and that is such an irresponsible way to handle things.
Well,
I mean, it's the equivalent of using the Twinkie defense. Oh, I didn't do it. I ate all these snack cakes, and that made me do it.
it's either they attack the people who make games, or the people who make guns, but never really just putting the onus on the person who actually did it.
Right.
It's like if someone had a driving simulator, right, and then there's some guy who ran over a bunch of people on real life, they probably would have blamed the driving simulator or the people or the car manufacturer and say take away cars. That's the same logic.
It is. And, you know, it's not just with guns and video games. I mean, there are literally SJWs out there in the games media that blame games like Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball for rape. Like it's gone into they've gone into the realm of religious fanaticism, because when you look at the fundamentalist Muslim justification for covering women up, it's literally the same justification that SJWs have for wanting to ban these games. That people, men in particular, can't control themselves, so we need to remove this from them. So, it discourages personal responsibilities. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's special. You didn't do. Nobody is like nobody's just bad. It's always something around it that made him do it.
Well, it's because we have a nanny state, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to fix my problem with my child, or I don't want to fix my problem with another person. Can you do it for me? I have an argument with someone, can you do it for me?
Right, and you know what, that goes to why this whole thing pisses me off so bad. And some people probably wondering, like, oh, why is this guy so pissed about it? Well, why does climb up his ass so bad? And I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, you know, I've been a games hobbyist since, I think 1987, when Mario was throwing fireballs at turtles and Goombas. Yeah, he's throwing projectile and stuff. And I've been a gun hobbyist since, almost 10 years now. You know, started off looking at World War II rifles, trying to look for the history. And basically, I'm just sitting here having fun with my hobbies. I ain't fucking with nobody. And here comes these people basically trying to raise a lynch mob against activities I do in my free time. It's like, wait, why are you coming here trying to fuck my shit up? I just want to sit here and play games and enjoy myself. But yeah, you know, I can't run amok in real life, so I'm gonna do it in this virtual realm. And you're saying that's wrong? You're saying I can't do that? Like, where's the justification? I mean, give me an argument. I don't deal in steals. And I'm sorry, I also have I also completed a juris doctor's, a law degree. You know, I think logically, I think analytically. I don't base my actions off of fields. I don't deal in fields. Like, give me thinking, give me thought, give me reason, and none of them have done that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's freaking irritated over this and just wants to be left alone with their hobbies. And I can get it further about the politics of it, but that's kind of going out of the scope of our theme here.
Well,
You think it related to? Oh, you were gonna say something?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, keeping it related to the gaming industry, it's being treated as like another just finger pointing, and once again being the other in the realm of visual entertainment, like how comic books were still are to an extent. Yeah, people are just looking for everything to point fingers at it. And, oh, guns are scary. Oh, it's blaming all that. I mean, again, another example is just like, maybe they'd be onto something. And if I saw a guy dye his hair white, got to 1911, and was jumping all around, breakdancing and shooting people at the same time, maybe they'd have a point to that, but these people are just crazy, and video games are a non-factor in these things. I don't see him blaming a movie like the Expendables for it. Like, holy crap! If it turns out that some psycho shooter guy had a collection of 80s action flicks, are the parents gonna go around and try to sue Arnie and Stallone?
Well, that's the thing, right? They're saying that it's you can interact with the environment when it's a video game.
Yeah, you can, but like I said earlier, the realism of that interaction is only goes so far. You cannot train yourself to be a competent marksman off of a video game. Not a video game by itself. No. I mean, sure, you can get a basic grasp of ballistics from Sniper Elite, even though it is a bit exaggerated. But still, you won't learn how to properly hold the weapon. You won't learn how to properly steady it. So I mean, it's like trying to say, oh, I got all S ranks in Ace Combat. I can play in real life. Like, I like that.
Well, I think we've said. Yeah, I was gonna say that we're starting to. A lot of this is.
I think we've kind of made our point on this particular matter.
Let's put it this way. I'm not. I'm gonna be on record stating that let the people choose. I think that pre-censorship just because of something that may happen with, a super small set of people who, even without the video game, would probably just stab somebody. You can't let one person define a whole group. One gamer define all gamers, etc.
Right, and going back on that, like I mentioned earlier, it's not like it's been established this guy plays games. And you bring up another good point there with letting people choose. The problem is we're starting to see people that that thanks to the internet now have a voice, that think that they know better than everybody else, and that they should choose for everyone else. And we're starting to see, we're starting to see people now that, going back to the nanny state, people that never really had any kind of people that never been, really put in their place, now going around with expanded egos, thinking they know better than everybody else. Yeah, sure, at first it doesn't seem all that bad. It's just kind of, oh, look at that, how cute, look at that moron. And it doesn't wind him up like a toy. Until you put him in, until you see something like, dead or alive beach volleyball happen, and these people get a loud enough voice to affect things.
Yeah, but I don't have much more to say on it because, just look at the numbers, look at the statistics, and don't take away my games.
Right.
If you feel like it's a game that your child shouldn't play, then, nut up and parent up, seriously.
Right. I'll even put this out there, I'll check the comments on this, but, okay, if you support censorship, I'm putting in, open invitation to give me an argument. I want to hear reasoning. I want to hear logic behind it. Like, give me an argument. I want feels. You give me feels, I'll probably just freaking troll you. But if you support censorship, I want to hear why. Like, I want to hear your line of thinking behind it. And if it's all feels, I'm gonna just fight it at you if I have nothing else to do at the moment. And honestly, just call you out as being fucking stupid. Maybe not stupid, maybe ignorant. But yeah, I won't call you out. All you have to bring to the table is feels. And like I said, why am I being particularly nasty about this? It's starting to creep into my everyday life and activities, that's why.
Now, is that a topic for another show?
Well, we can go into a look back from how our hobby progressed. Summer is generally kind of dry season for video games post E3, so we can do our take on the evolution of the industry as people have been in it since the post crash recovery.
Well, I'm gonna keep that for another time of the show. I just realized the time. I have to cut the show off,
Yeah,
but
I meant that for another episode.
But I have to say that I think that if anyone has any comments on this, they can comment on the YouTube video. But truthfully, I think our arguments are pretty sound. And remember, think about it in the opposite direction. You people listening out there, if you start getting the government to censor some things based on a certain group of people's opinion about it, and then a different group of people have an opinion against yours, and the government starts to censor you, does that really sound like a road we want to go down on?
Yeah. Well put.
Any other words there?
Just to wrap everything up in a nice, pretty bow tie is it's all bullshit. There's nothing. There's barely any realism when it comes to video game gunplay. Acting like a maniac generally has some form of consequence, being, the game sends you back to the next checkpoint, or it takes away all the. It sends the cops after you. It takes away all the guns you collected, and it takes away some money from you. And before The industry, the media has become this propaganda tool. So before you listen to anything they have to say, you're just gonna have to be your own journalist. Don't take it at face value. And that goes triple for any parents out there that are listening to us. You hear somebody making noise about something. You hear about a game getting heat or whatnot. Look into it yourself. Go to GameStop and ask somebody that works there. Or better yet, if you have a mom and pop shop around you, go in there and ask that. So yeah, that's kind of my final point is the games media has no journalistic integrity. So you're pretty much gonna have to do your own research. On that note, doing your own research isn't that hard. Given A, the internet, and B, the people at the store, there are the mythical, the misogynistic, sexist jackass that the games media also portrays gamers/game hobbyists to be. They're telling decent people. They will help you if you ask in a respectful manner. That's kind of my last thought on this one. You're just gonna have to do your own footwork.
Yep. I prefer having trying to look up taking what people say with a grain of salt. So I do assume the opposite and then work my way forward. So, all right. Well, that's the end of this show. Nice and heavy and full of rants. So for Boxer, me, and for Dictator, him, signing off, and hopefully you find some nice, good old violent video games. Peace. Peace.